What is up, watch friends? Welcome to another episode of Talking Timepieces with Tony. I'm Tony, and appreciate everyone who leaves me the awesome comments, man. You know, some of the trolly people, whatever. But you guys are what make me, you know, it inspires me to continue to do this channel, because I don't, and I've said this before, I don't really have any ulterior motives. I'm not selling anything. You know, I just passionate about watches, and I want to share that with you guys, and who are also passionate watch people. So anyway, having said that, today let's talk about the Swatch. Let's talk about the Moonswatch, and let's talk about the Blancpain Swatch Pawn, whatever. All right, so let's. And if I keep doing that, you know, hey, how's it going there? All right, cool. Like, subscribe, and I'll roll the intro, and we'll talk about it.
You're watching Timepieces with Tony. Talking Timepieces with Tony. That's me.
All right, so essentially I'm winging this, man. I was gonna do a full review on my 50 Fathoms Swatch as well as the Moonswatch, but you know, I thought instead of doing that, let's just talk about them, you know, and let's not talk about what they aren't. Let's talk about what they are. All right, so I'm gonna start, you know, first and foremost, you know, I'm not trying to rag on other YouTubers, but you know, I've seen a lot of reviews where they're like, you know, don't buy this watch because you could buy a Seiko, a Citizen, whatever, for this price, for this price, for this price. They're all missing the point of what this watch is about. It's not about. Swatch stands, if you don't know, for second watch. All right, a Swatch watch really is not meant to be your everyday only watch, beater watch. You know, if you did that, it's going to break, you know, eventually. So they're a fun brand. You're meant to have fun with them. You know, essentially these watches are for watch enthusiasts, Swatch enthusiasts, you know, people that can rag on it because they would rather have a real Blancpain or a real Speedmaster over the Swatch. I mean, geez, dude, you know, it's like this mission on Earth would not prevent me from buying a Speedmaster. You know, it actually could or this is not going to prevent me from buying a 50 Fathoms Blancpain if I really wanted one. You know, in fact, I love Blancpain. You know, but let's start here. You know, this is the first generation Swatch System 51. Came out in 2013. When this came out, I remember calling the Swatch store the day before, because we had a Swatch store in Glendale Galleria, right next to Bindi, actually. And I called the Swatch store, and I'm like, do you have them in stock? Can you hold one for me? Blah, blah, blah. And they were like, yeah, absolutely. And I got to the mall before they opened, and I waited, and I waited patiently, and there was no line, you know what I mean? But, you know, this was a hyped watch. And of course, I had my pick of whichever one I wanted. I picked the red one. And I bought a couple other Swatches. And I was super stoked. System 51 is an all automatic movement. The rotor on this one is on the outer, you know, it's the whole full circle. It's not a partial rotor, you know. And I bought it, and I was stoked. One of the first people to ever get one when it first came out. And I was really happy to have this watch. As you can tell, there's very little wear on it. It's almost essentially like a brand new watch. I wore this just a handful of times, and then it stopped working. Okay, you know, I mean, it was working, and then I took it off, and I don't know, maybe a week later I put it on again, and it wasn't working, and that's it. It doesn't work. I can't. They're not serviceable. You know, you can't replace it. It's the case is all, you know, it's sealed. You can't do anything with it. So I was a little bummed out about that. Okay, this watch did not last long at all. Okay, having said that, let's go to this Scuba. Now, I bought this watch in 1995 in the Grand Cayman Islands when I was on vacation. And I bought this to go. I learned to scuba dive in the Grand Cayman Islands, and I went scuba diving with this watch probably 3 times. And eventually the band wore out. I put a new band on it. That band wore out, and then not too long ago, I found just the watch head in a box, laying in a box of stuff, and I went, oh my God, and I put a battery in it, and that watch works perfectly. It's almost 30 years ago, right? 28 years ago? 29, because it was January 1995 when I was there. This watch is awesome. I've had this watch for almost 30 years, and not only a quartz watch, but it's a Swatch quartz watch, which is probably an ETA movement. I don't know if they were using ETA movements in them 30 years ago. Maybe I think they were. But anyway, so this just goes to show, you get a brand new one from, say, 2013, the thing stops working, and then you have one from almost 30 years ago and it works fine, okay? So when this came out, of course, I'm bypassing all the hype with this just for now. When the Blancpain came out, of course, I was super stoked. You guys know it if you saw my channel, my previous videos, where I was just like, oh my God, they're out, they're here. Now, you have to take it for what it is, okay? Is this a $400 watch? Is it worth $400 with tax? In the state of California, you're looking at about $450 total, So, now also, you got the 42 millimeter, blah, 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 almost 43 millimeters, it has, the crystal is supposed to be glass. I'm almost wondering if it's some kind of maybe plexiglass, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel that solid. The bezel insert is also supposed to be glass. I can't really tell. The dial is a fume dial with the date. Now, the concerns you have when you buy this, and I love the fact that there's a Jean-Claude Beaver, when he was the head of Swatch, said that Blancpain have never made a quartz watch and they never will. And I love the fact that they stuck with that in this. What's my concern? And I said this previously too. Will this movement last? Okay? Because essentially, it's a non-serviceable movement. Now, I saw a video of a guy saying, well, yeah, you can service it because it's a snap-on case back. I don't know how true that is, if it does really snap on or if it's sealed and it just looks like it's snapped on. But you can't service this watch. You'd have to replace the entire movement if you could, right? Now, the hands and the loom are really good on this watch, like just as good as a luxury watch. I'm not kidding, it's really good. Now, I haven't tried the loom overnight, so that I'm only giving you what I already know as far as, I've only had this watch for just under a week, and I've been wearing it. But what is your main concern also when you buy these? When you buy an automatic movement watch, is it going to be regulated? Meaning, is it going to keep time properly? Is it going to gain seconds, lose seconds? All automatic watches will, but how much? Okay, so that was my concern too. Again, this is regulated as it comes out, and you can't do anything about it. If it runs 5 minutes fast a day, that's it, you're toast. Or if it runs slow, you're toast. It's no fun, right? So essentially, I set the time on it, and again, it's a non-hacking movement, which means when you pull the crown out, the second hand doesn't stop, right? So it's finding it to get, and I'm very exact, I want to be exact, But this watch, as of right now, is keeping absolutely almost perfect time, So I hope it maintains that. It's aesthetically, it looks good. It looks like the 50 Fathoms. I mean, it's, I love the color. I think it's fun. Again, 42 mil. Now, I've jacked up this strap because I don't like native straps. That's just my opinion. Don't kill me for it because I just don't like them. So I cut the extra strap part off of it, and then I cut one of these keepers off of it that was way up here. I didn't need it anymore because I cut that other thing off. So it just slides in and out. It's like a one-piece strap. Now, the thing is, can you change this strap like you can on the Moonswatch? Moonswatch, you can put another strap on it. Now, I did put some other straps on this just to try it, but then I thought, what, I just want to keep it authentic the way it comes. It's comfortable. There's nothing wrong with this strap. People that say, oh, it's a piece of shit strap. No, it's fine. But on this, you have basically, you can't just pull these pins out. It has like a little Allen key. that you would have to undo it, and I don't know if that's workable or if this is just sort of an aesthetic that's these pins are in there permanently, so you almost have to have a NATO strap on it, but you know, time will tell. As far as plastic, people go, well, it's just plastic. Well, it's bioceramic and it's partially plastic, but you can tell the difference between plastic when you touch plastic and when you touch this. It has a different texture, a different feel. The quality is good. I love I love the fact that it has that nudibranch. I love the automatic. This has an actual rotor on it, whereas the other, my System 51, has that rotor that goes around the circumference of the inside of the case. So it's a nice looking watch, and it feels good on the wrist when you wear it. So let me put it on, and I'll show. You know what? It looks good. It's an eye catcher. It's a fun watch. That's all it's meant to be. It has I think a 90-hour power reserve, which I haven't tested because I haven't had the watch off my wrist that much. You know, I've been wearing it a lot just to try to, get the, get the feel of what it is, so I can give you guys sort of a proper estimate of how this watch is. It's a fun watch. It looks cool. Now, let's move on to. Let's move on to the Moonswatch. Okay. Now the Moonswatch. The quality. Now keep in mind, also on the back case is, they say it's a sapphire glass. I don't know if it's sapphire. It's got to be some kind of protected glass, because otherwise it would scratch with the strap, and the strap is made out of recycled fishing net. All right. So we get the Moonswatch. The same material, the same bioceramic. Again, this is quartz. A quartz movement, so it's going to be a little bit more reliable than the 51. Okay, the one that makes me worry the most, this is a System 51 movement. Is it going to last? Because if it doesn't, this was a $400 fucking throwaway. I'd still keep it just for the, just because I have it, and my little sister picked it up for me. But if this watch lasts and that movement shows that it's been improved and it keeps working, then this is worth every bit of the $400. All right, I don't care if you can buy a Seiko or two Seikos or whatever. That's not what the point is with this thing. Okay. I also love the Moonswatch. I think the quality in this that could have been better is you could have put a little bit better crystal on it, something a little bit more sturdy, something that's not going to scratch if you look at it the wrong way. Quartz movement, chronograph. Now people go, oh, the quality is bad. The pusher broke and all that stuff. Okay, the way that you should look at wearing these types of watches. I hate to say it because people are going, well, I shouldn't have to. It's a beater watch. You can wear it as a beater watch if you choose to. You know what I mean? But look at that. It looks so good, doesn't it? I think it does. You almost have to treat these watches as though they're a vintage piece. Okay? Now, not baby it. I mean, you kind of have to do, because if you bang it around, it's going to break. Okay? Simple as that. And if that's what you choose to do with it, that's your prerogative. Wear it however you want it. But I would look at this as, I can wear this as a daily watch as long as I don't beat it around. I have to be a little bit more cognizant of what I have on. You know what I mean? Because I know that this could possibly break if I hit it the wrong way or scratch the crystal or whatever. You know what I mean? So you just have to be careful with them. But again, having said that, this is just meant to be a fun watch, both of them. You know what I mean? And that's what I think they are. You can take all these other videos that people are talking about and saying, they don't like this or they don't like that. Well, don't buy it, dude. You know what I mean? It's like, I certainly wouldn't have purchased this on the gray market. I wouldn't really purchase anything on the gray market unless it's something I just really wanted that I know that you can't get anymore. You know what I mean? But it's a fun watch, all right? You got 93, this is actually 50 fathoms. It goes 93 fathoms, which is about 300 feet. No, is it? It's about 300 feet, I think. But either way, I just wanted to do a video instead of doing the full breakdown on it. People didn't like the fact that it says Swatch on the side of it. Instead of like Blancpain has Blancpain on the side of their 50 fathoms. Why, dude? It's okay. It's fine. Unless you want to try to pull it off and tell people you're wearing a Blancpain 50 fathoms. I mean, essentially it is a Blancpain 50 fathoms, but really essentially it's just a Swatch, isn't it? This is the closest you'll get to a true Blancpain 50 Fathoms without actually owning a 50 Fathoms. You know, and I think Swatch did a great job. I think this is awesome. I think this puts Blancpain on the map a little bit more. Certainly not as popular as the Moonswatch, you know, but at the same time, they're both beautiful watches. Now, if I had my choice to buy a Blancpain 50 Fathoms, a real one, or a Speedmaster, I would buy the Blancpain 50 Fathoms, but you're looking at about $15,000. Let's say $7,000 for the real Speedy. However, as far as on the wrist with the swatches themselves, I think I almost prefer the Moonswatch over the Blancpain, you know. So, but equally, they're different watches. I like them. I like them both. You know what I mean? I just love Swatch. So, having said that, we got to now I think that's about all I have to say. And it's just, again, it's a fun watch. You know, they're not meant to be taken seriously. You know, people lighten up. You know. Or these other YouTubers are just like, fucking, dude, you make it sound like it actually is a luxury watch. No, it's not a toy either, all right? But people, you know, people will go out of their way to just try to fucking dog shit and make it sound like it's a piece of shit. To each their own. Would I recommend them? I just dropped it on the carpet. Will it still work? Oh my God. Well, yeah, hell yeah, it's still working. That's great. Yeah, I recommend it. Okay, now if you're tight on money and you're looking only for like a $400 watch, then don't buy it. Wait till you can just get one without thinking twice. And if it does break, oh well, it broke, you know, without worrying about it. Having said that, I appreciate you guys as always. You have a great rest of the weekend. It's fucking spooky season now. Halloween's coming up, my favorite time of year. I decorated, put my stuff up. Also found a new restaurant that's been there for 18 years, just down the street, another Mexican restaurant that was absolutely awesome. So any of you guys who come out to LA and ask me where to go eat and all that stuff, which happens often, I'll throw that new restaurant in there. Peace out, you guys. Love you guys.